I apologize in advance for this, Moist Charlie Clips enthusiasts. This is the dumbest topic for a video I think I've ever covered, but it's one that I just keep thinking about. And why it's so stupid is because I can't show any part of the video because it would be against YouTube's terms. So, there was a street fight that was recorded 3 or 4 years ago now. And I can show you a picture of it. There's a man here who's getting wailed on by three other people, and they're throwing some sloppy wet noodles his way, and he's just kind of taking it. It actually just sounds like beef hitting a kitchen floor. Like the punches don't have real impact. It sounds like someone doing the thug shaker dance. So it's already pretty silly, but what amplifies it is this gentleman on the left. You can see he's in an interesting position here. So he's like on the back of him, and he's hitting him in like the kidneys kinda. Very winky dinky stuff. He's not exactly clobbering him, so he's not doing a ton of damage or anything. And I think he started to realize that because after a couple of unsuccessful blows, this man in the black shirt then pulls down this guy's pants. And he hits him like once in the ass cheek. Like he hits him with like one ass cheek jab. Well, not really a jab, more of like a hook. Not even like a hook. It's like a closed fisted slap. Because he comes in like this and he just hits him like that. Just one of those. Like knocking on the door of his ass cheek to see who's home. And then immediately after, he takes his hand and he starts wiping the dude's ass with it. Like he's swiping a credit card in reverse. So he's like wiping the guy's ass, and I think he's trying to like finger it a little bit. So he starts putting his fingers in his butthole during the fight. And the guy who's unfortunately on the receiving end of all of this shit's like clenching up as much as he can and like squirming and like eventually retreats back inside. But I always think about that technique from this man, the forbidden jutsu, the 10,000 years of pain that he administered on this other guy. I don't know what he did to deserve three people attacking him and then one of them fucking fingering his sphincter, going right into the brown balloon knot, no man's land. But my god, like he turned this from a fight to a sexual assault, like in one fell swoop from out of nowhere. And the reason why I think about this video from time to time is because often if I've been asked on stream like what I would do in the street fight, like do I think I'd win any fights? And my answer is always a resounding no. But if we're throwing out like honor, pride, and like general code of conduct etiquette, I feel like I would stand a good chance against like an equally matched opponent as long as I'm able to play dirty. Like I would go for all of the human weak points. I'd start like yanking at the scrotum. I'd start tweaking on the nipples, and and I've said this, I would go for butthole damage. Only if, of course, the stakes are high enough, right? If it's like a life or death situation, or I have to do this to save the life of somebody, or, save 10 puppies from getting hit by a bus somehow, like, I would reserve all of this nastiness and all this foul play for a very high stakes situation, but I certainly wouldn't be above it. Because, I mean, that is a human weak point. I mean, that's how they killed that dude whose skin was made out of diamonds in The Boys. Like, that is just a biological weakness in humans that we have. Also, I just realized I crossed a few wires in my brain. That guy from The Boys was the translucent guy, the invisible man. His skin was as strong as diamonds. It wasn't made out of diamonds. I got the wires crossed in my brain with Twilight, where their vampire skin is made out of diamonds. But I'm not going to take it out of the video because the point does still stand. And I'm just giving you a little addendum here, a little correction. A butthole that is moderately easy to access during a street fight like this, as long as you're willing to throw out any level of self-respect, right? So I feel like what he did here was exploiting the boss's weak point. He was in the DPS phase of the boss battle, and it's so fucking ridiculous. I feel horrible for the guy who had this happen to him. And the fact that it exists on camera makes it even more upsetting. But I gotta tell you, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a fascinating video. I've never seen someone actually employ a technique like that. And especially for something like this, where it's clearly not exactly a life or death situation, this feels like some kind of very minor dispute that got out of hand quickly. Because the guy is not even fighting back. He's just taking it and trying to get away. He's trying to de-escalate while all of the other people are escalating, and then trying his hardest just to get out of the situation. So overall, a horrible fight. Probably the worst fight ever recorded. It's got to be up there. It's so fucking dumb. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that is probably the last man you want to pick a fight with. The goddamn asshole tickler. You know, you gotta be fearful of him on the streets. That man might come up to you and when you least expect it, bang, you got 2 fingers deep right into your brown balloon knot. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's about it. See ya.